Good morning. All right. Crazy hair is still drying, but I'm scrambling because I just realized the time and I got to get moving. Marsha has a doctor's appointment today. I have a Zoom meeting, another meeting, both for graphic design stuff, my sister's magazine. I've got to have things ready for the editor by Friday, so I got to fine tune that. Homeschool, we're going to finish our Mysteries in Time box. So we opened that last Wednesday and we worked through it quite a bit, but we didn't get all the way through it. So I have to say, I'm super impressed with that box. So I'll show you a little bit more of that today when we work on it and finish it. The little storybook that it came with, it's so awesome. There's like 15 chapters, but each chapter is like 2-3 pages. So it was perfect for Addie's. Bella, she's a little young for it, I think, and she had a harder time with her attention span. She'll be 7 here in a few weeks. But Addie, who's 9, 4th grade, she loved it. She was all into it. So I think it's geared more for Addie's age. But anyhow, so we're going to finish that up today. Also, we have the little passports. We got a USA box and a world box. So we're going to alternate these boxes for each Wednesday for social studies. I'm not sure if we're going to keep doing the USA box or not. We got the first one, so we'll kind of see how that first one is and how we like it. So we're going to open that up today. And the first one, I think, is kind of an introductory. I don't think it's even about a specific state. I don't know. We'll see when we open it today. I got some video editing to do. Peaches, we've got our last box of peaches and they're starting to get really soft. So I have to do something with these peaches here today or tomorrow. Hopefully today, right? And the freeze dryer, I've got that beef bone broth going. So I don't know if I record, I've kind of been slacking on these videos because I just haven't had time, but let me see if I can turn this. There we go. So this is bone broth. Where's my, somebody put my spoon in the sink. Anyhow, all this is the bones from, they're soup bones from when we got our cow. This is actually from the old cow, so I wanted to use it up. The soup bones, and they're just bones with some marrow and a little bit of meat on them. And you add it to a pot with water. I put some carrots and celery and an onion in there. And some salt and apple cider, a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And you just cook it low and slow. You can do it in the pressure cooker for like an hour and a half, but I prefer low and slow for like a day. It gives me plenty of time to do something with it. And then that makes a bone broth. I'm going to freeze dry it, but I am a little concerned because it cooked all the water out last night and it burnt a little at the bottom. So I'm going to taste it, and if it tastes burnt at all, we're just going to check it, because luckily it's fairly cheap. I mean, these are scraps. The dogs can have the bones, but these are the scraps and stuff, so it's not like it's a huge loss. But we'll see. Anyhow, if it tastes okay, then I'm gonna freeze dry it and we'll make our own like beef bouillon. And then also right here with the other two this is from a brisket and a sirloin roast that was from the old cow that we needed to use up. I found this really good recipe on Pinterest, adjusted it a little bit, but I made pretty similar to their recipe for barbecue sauce. So good. So I'm definitely gonna have to put that on the blog. But yeah, this brisket and roast we'll have for dinner tonight. And like I said, I started last night, but that's kind of how this old cow is. It takes like 24 hours. Normally with the new cow, and normally it's like 2 to 8 hours, 2 to 4 hours on high, 6 to 8 hours on low. So, but this is the only way to get this meat tender, but it does smell good in here. Okay. I gotta get moving. I got a lot of stuff to do today and I'm gonna be late if I don't hurry. So as I'm editing this video, let me give you the sad ending of the bone broth, because I didn't record the video of what happened to it. It had kind of a sad ending. There's a fly flying around here. So the bone broth, I ended up adding carrots and onions and celery and garlic to it. and we just cooked it low and slow for about a day, day and a half. And I think I did it for a day and a half. And then it was getting ready, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I need to pour it in the pans, but the freeze dryer wasn't ready. So at that point, I was like, well, shoot. That means either I take it off the stove, I strain it, and I just store it in the fridge, because I didn't have room in the freeze dryer. I didn't have the next batch ready to go. You know, the freezer was full with the next batch, and the freeze dryer was running. So I was like, well, shoot, and it would be done by the next morning. So I thought, you know what? It's not going to hurt the bone broth to cook a little bit longer, and so we'll just let it cook overnight. And by the next day, everything, the freeze dryer would be ready to, you know, sort over, and I could put the bone broth in the freezer and all that, right? Happy ending? Not so much. So I did, but I got tired, as I often do before bed, and I went to bed and completely forgot to add more water to the bone broth, because it cooks down, and you can add more water and it's just gonna cook down, keep cooking down. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I was tired. I forgot to add more bone broth, or more water to the bone broth. So the next morning, I'm like, as I'm getting ready for the day, my son's at the door and he says, Mom, something smells like it's burning on the stove. Should I turn it off? And I was like, oh shoot, add more water, add more water. So he did, and I got dressed and I came out to see that it was burnt. And it wasn't like black burnt, but it was burnt enough. I added a bunch of water and I thought maybe it's okay. Maybe it'll just have a good caramelized taste to it. So I tried cooking it, you know, with the more water for a couple hours, and then as I was stirring it, no, you could smell the aroma coming off it, like it had a burnt smell, and I knew if it had a burnt smell, it's gonna have a burnt taste, even if it was slight. I didn't want to go through all the work of freeze drying it to have a burnt tasting bouillon. So needless to say, yeah, the bone broth. But it's okay because, I mean, I really wasn't out much. The soup bones were just from that old cow that we had. They're normally stuff that they just throw away or give to maybe dogs or something. And that's what I did. I gave all the bones to my dogs, and I just threw everything else away, strained the liquid, and then the celery was getting where it needed to be used anyway, so I just kind of finished off the head of celery. Same carrots, like few carrots and one onion was really all I was out. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But lesson learned. I still want to do it again, and I have more soup bones with our new cow. So I do plan to make another pot because I do want to do the homemade beef bouillon in the freeze dryer. So the next time, I'm just going to be really vigilant about not letting it boil out and burn. So that's the sad ending of the bone broth story.